So there's no one perfect way to breathe all the time, and naturally our breathing will change according to our environment. There's a deeper intelligence here that we don't have to micromanage. However, there do seem to be principles which create a benefit in most situations. One of the principles is the 360 breath, so breathing in every direction, to the belly, to the back, to both sides, up and down. And this happens through the whole torso, so we're perceiving the breath as one continuous process that moves through one continuous body, rather than feeling fragmented and stuck and having little areas where we're kind of not moving well, not sensing well, and are maybe even guarding or protecting ourselves unconsciously. So this is where things like perceiving the natural motion of the breath and recognizing what it's normally like bridge into emotional well-being contexts where you then enter a new environment and something happens and you notice your breathing shift, or you're talking to someone and you notice that you're not comfortable being authentic, and so your breathing shifts and you're, oh wow, when I'm not being authentic, I'm actually holding this tension in my abdomen. So by recognizing these contextual patterns, by being more attentive to this one-bodiedness, you can then notice when you start to fragment and things start to lock up. And you can see, okay, something's happening here. I can address this by coming back to my breathing and improving physically. And I can also address whether there's a relational or emotional or psychological pattern that I have where I'm just putting myself in an environment where my body is tense and guarded and doesn't feel safe. So we can both build the capacity to feel safe in more and more environments, and we can look at which environments we just maybe don't need to be in. And that goes deeper and deeper, and we can clarify and go into a more psychotherapeutic direction, relationship, coaching direction and all that, but that's not even necessary because your intuition will speak through your body and your breath, and if you follow that most of the time, and do things which help you feel like you're moving through life as one, you'll get more of that. So, feeling the breath as one thing, feeling the body as one thing, feeling connection is really important. And this means, though a lot of movement stuff will focus on these articulations and on spinal waves and all this fluid stuff, if you're not first feeling connected in your structure and steady and gathered, then this can just cause more pain, especially for people who have like ADD, ADHD, whatever the diagnosis is. People who are hypermobile, often there's a connection there. All of this comes down to not feeling gathered and feeling like you're moving as one. And you're making all of these external connections and you're dealing with all of these external things. And when I say external, there's a sense that you're managing things outside more than you are able to rest into the stability inside. So coming back to the breath is very helpful for that. This feeling of building pressure in the one body and easing pressure in the one body, it gives you this sense of self. It gives you a direct sense of self. And if you have that sense of self, then the level of security that comes from that is something that you can take with you anywhere. And so feeling insecure while also feeling very strong, connected and stable in your body is an unlikely thing. If you're very strong, stable and connected in your body, if you can stand up straight and if you can feel relaxed as you do in your structures, then it's highly unlikely that you're going to find yourself choosing the wrong words that don't really resonate with you. You'll know, you'll feel it. You'll feel those words pulling you. You'll feel those thoughts and ways of communicating and ways of expressing pulling you into these different shapes that just they're just not comfortable to inhabit. So sensing the breath is very good in that sense. And this is why the fundamental focus in your training should be posture, okay? Now, a good posture is one that enables you to express yourself naturally and without fear. So a good posture should therefore apply to a number of situations and different body shapes. There is a version of posture here which is good, and there's a version of posture here which is not so good. What's the difference? The version of posture here that's good is one where I feel ready, safe, I can move around from this position, I feel strong, I can manage forces, I can take load and dissipate that load through my whole body as one piece. A posture that doesn't feel good is one where I feel scared, where there's pain in one part that's getting worse as I move, where I'm having to micromanage and overthink about which part of my body to move and how to position it so that I don't cause more pain, and therefore there's hesitation and restriction in my movement. So posture is as much a state of being and a way of connecting with the body as it is a biomechanical expression, a shape. There's no one posture. However, once again, there is this principle of the one body. And within that, we can have an alignment from the crown, through the spine, through the root, to the feet, to the ground. So it feels like from the sky to the ground, there is a continuity. And we're breathing into that continuity as one body. Now, if we have that sense of the breath supporting us through the middle, from center of skull to base of pelvis, and if we can arrange ourselves to feel that in the most effortless way, which sometimes involves little postural explorations, then we can relax the superficial tissues a bit more, which helps the whole being feel quieter. If you're not contracting, then think about how much more energy you have for other things, like sensing, listening, moving, going from relaxed to powerful. So we bring back this state of readiness, relaxed, alert, attentive, peaceful, powerful readiness. So there is an alignment of the spine and a placement of the head, a resting into the bony structures and the tendons, which is conducive to that. And there are other shapes which maybe are loading certain tissues so that those tissues have to tense and lock in order to hold us in that shape. What we don't want is for those tissues to have to tense and lock, because if they do have to tense and lock and we're not using our spine and we're not sensing our posture dynamically and re-perceiving it from moment to moment, then we start to lose access to the health of those tissues, once again, because the lymph, the blood flow, the nerve transmission is diminishing. If I can rest into my bone structure, and if I can rest into the support of my breath, holding that bone structure and pressurizing all of my layers, I don't have to micromanage anything. I don't have to hold unnecessary tension. There's no wasted effort and there's no fear. So it's just a beautiful posture to inhabit. And if you spend time in a posture like this, you will feel gradually more spacious and attentive. You will feel emotionally more stable. You'll feel energized, creative, and like you're being you. So the way you hold yourself is very important, and how you can relax into your posture is very important. If you want to understand posture, sit still for an hour. If you want to understand posture, walk for 2 hours. Spend time getting to know this sky to floor connection, the axis. This is like the staff of wisdom, the spine. The reason it's the staff of wisdom is because when you can hold yourself well, you can transmit your ideas into reality more easily because you've got more energy. You're more stable in your body. You're not already bound up, tired, wired, struggling against a system that's not in ease. So if you want to understand this and you're not as sensitive yet, putting a barbell on the shoulders and doing a squat can be a great way to feel the effect of that gravity, or to feel the way your body is aligning. Adding load is a great way to understand. Someone can press down on the crown of your head and it's going to give you a sense of whether or not your neck's in a comfortable position. And you're going to be able to explore ways to grow against that position that feel relaxed but strong. You know, there's a level of effort, but there's also a level of ease. This is why simple movements that build posture, like standing, Taoist standing meditation, squatting, deadlifting, carrying, pressing, they're so simple. They're like gym bro movements, but when you approach them with an awareness of these deeper layers of consciousness, alignment, breath, they become gifts, and there's so much depth in these movements.